T4 Michacha Obibiara Edeba Nimdia News so Sabre Yabebo Era and Semino Emune de Enchimon Ama T4 said ye da ye ewo Nimdia News no Sabre and Sama Abakan Sai be Remuna Yadi Emunchimu Ama T4.
This week, Anna this statement from the office of the president said the Chief Justice has been suspended. Now, I suspended the Chief Justice and pursuant to Article 1466, President Ate Sa Committee 5-member. Now, the deal started to say about the people were making inference. It gives you a view of Niama Ekoso, what is in the petition here there. Now, no pay. And I'm one of the petitions, and I'll share with you. I had to make some calls before meet me because I wanted to know some making the ethical rule. But because I'm a journalist and I have my sources, some of them I will say are from my sources. Now, to take a bit of time, but I want to follow me. One of the petitions now, I am from a police officer, and I am from ACP Ayamba. Obi say then ACP Ayamba. Ebenya the strength to even petition the president to remove no mean person than the Chief Justice. Nana Asamu beginning very long time ago in Takrade. People should follow me. This man is an ACP, is an assistant commissioner of police. And assistant commissioner of police. You are just, I think, at the last rank. Because commissioner is the last rank. IGP rank. If I'm mistaken, people should correct me. I think the last rank in the police is the commissioner of police. And I'm a very senior police officer and a science lawyer. Now, in 2018, and I filed a case with secondary Takrade. What was the case about? Because of the time. The case in the ACP Ayambe, Ekoto Asasia, a belonging to a branch with Netherlands, and Brian Rodenbeck. Nana, all two are beachfront property. Now, Sasia, a dime or so, a bay issue, they're going to beachfront property as soon as who beach in any idea Takrade. Nana, or two are there. So let me read the plaintiff's case for you. And I bet you, as I say, the plaintiff's case is that he purchased a property located at this place, Busua, from one Bram Rodenbeck, a Dutchman who was resident in Ghana up to 2013. Next, I branch not to Ghana to 2013 Code Krum. That the purchase is evidenced by a deed of assignment dated October 9, 2015. So now, a real process by 2015. The said deed was duly registered with the Lands Commission. The plaintiff's case is that by the terms of the deed, Brian Rodenbeck has assigned the remainder of his interest 46 years. Now, that's what I say amount years. Brian will use property, and by the time I walk on, I 46 years. So, according to ACP police, the interest I 46 years. So, what I say into a hand over side interest, na the amano. To the plaintiff, that Brian Rodenbeck negotiated, signed, and executed the deed of assignment through his lawful attorney and on the lawyer Madam Evelyn K. Lai. Sama minana kaini dini mame. No ye Brian Rodenbeck no. The girlfriend on no Ghana. And this girl will be the material witness to an Emma Ekosunyana. I didn't because a kaini dini mame no. Now I say it was also the case of the plaintiff that Madam Evelyn Lai's authority to negotiate, sign, and execute the deed of assignment for and on behalf of Brian Rodenbeck is evidenced by the power of attorney which was duly given to her by Brian Rodenbeck and dated 1st January 2014. Now, the plaintiff case is what to assassin. Now, assassin or to not only through a power of attorney. Now, not Jan to it was say a cocoa and sign BB mame. Now, what I said, man, turn through Jan to direct me to free a cocoa because I want my cocoa according to the plaintiff, the power of attorney. Now, asame court na no bia boni nkura. Then, when the court was decided, one of the key issues about was the power of the attorney. Now, what case where this is a full court case, this is official court case. The ruling, sorry. Now, you say the girlfriend forged the signatures of Brian Rodenbeck and the tongue. Sa property, Emma police officer.
Sa girlfriend here lawyer.
No, not lawyer. Okay. One man the power of attorney.
Okay, one man to me say
to me. So the girl defrauded. The ACP. Now, I need to be who and say apparently, if be notary public.
Okay.
say notary public no omo yankrofo mo authenticated document na nansa no obey authentication no esa wo na janto a wugina ho na wo hu say what sign bibia ansa na wa authenticated document no according to the ruling from the second high court banana omo share the first page of the document na omo hu say a photocopy Brian no claim they say the girlfriend have found a passport and on left and another passport to bio data no who's your signature and on left his signature no to do this forgery and on this notary public no copy or call you at Chimota and almost signed the man ultimately the torn property in my police officer no.
Wow.
And then Osha the final ruling from the court my main counsel say the false declaration made by the notary public is on all fours with a fraudulent act calculated to present the power of attorney as an authentic document.
Right.
Meanwhile, the notary public never witnessed the purported execution and so cannot authenticate same. Nana bofuka kakane chese notary public no ese wo mu se dan to ama power of attorney no nanim ansa na authenticate get ne de na ode buy no a photocopy document no authenticate here so that defeats the processes of authentication no.
Right.
Nana what you say o see plaintiff is a senior police officer and a lawyer. Unfortunately, he failed to exercise due diligence before entering into the transaction for the purchase of the third defendant's property.
Right.
By plaintiff's own showing, he knew about the execution process related to the power of attorney. He, however, shut his eyes to the obvious anomaly associated with the process and the document itself. Court say, we police officer, we a lawyer. It's what Tadia and Mrane Trese, a notary public news, and Nippon the power attorney Nama Sumesi, and son authenticate when Musana Okotoyano. Why need due diligence?
Right.
This is the statement of the court. And then there's a ruling. Now, interestingly, the lawyer for the police officer in the case was the current Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Ramsay.
Okay.
Now, in the case, the travel, even 8,000 cedis cost against
the plaintiff.
The plaintiff.
Okay.
Now, in the case in the court, there's a Stakrade High Court. A court now the court Supreme Court because of the time. So I've skipped some of the process for you. But now, all girlfriend or properties are here. Case documenting. What would say be your girlfriend or property here? But the court established how the girl was able to defraud a senior police officer and a lawyer and a man who, based on this ruling, I'm not making a general statement. Yeah. Based on this ruling there, and a man who, certain relevant cases to even defraud, a lot of process.
Okay.
Now, the case traveled all the way to the Supreme Court. Not telling what say.
Yeah.
As I'm the Supreme Court, and I shall date, April 5th, 2024. Or say 2024, April 5, 2024. ACP Akrugu Nedine Akrugu challenging Supreme Court decision media reporting property fraud case.
Right.
Meka Adamo say Assistant Commissioner of Police Ayanga, a legal practitioner, responded to what he perceived as unjust media representation following the Supreme Court decision in the property fraud case. Now say ACP Ayanga in a region that disputed the legality of his arrest and detention orders from November 14, 2023. Nana date was new to Mame.
All right.
And accused the Chief Justice of a cover-up. So Nana, the petition against the Chief Justice from this police officer, no, assembly beginning 2018. In fact, I say the controversy arises from the Supreme Court of Ghana dismissal of ACP Ayanga's final review application, a complex property fraud case. Also a Protestant lawyer, blah, 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 say. However, the legitimate attorney proved in court that the sale was fraudulent, and no payment evidence was provided to support the claim. The High Court overturned the sale, returning the ownership to say this Dutch guy, Rodenbeck, and censoring ACP Ayanga for the lack of due diligence. Despite this event, ACP Ayanga maintained his innocence and point to lawyer Shla Abeye Backman for formalizing the disputed power of attorney and sale offer without involvement. Now, this is why Otros are rejoined that way. And not here statement you say, amidst an ongoing investigation by the Commissioner on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Shraj into the Chief Justice conduct, ACP Ayanga criticized the Chief Justice participation in March 27, 2024 review panel as a conflict of interest and a breach of judicial impartiality. And I'm casting note today to him. The reason I made you know this date is because of something I'm come to tell you. November 14, BBC or court. And the media reporters are Brantiano, Etienne, Chief Justice. Abraham Sano travel all the way from the High Court in Segedi to the Supreme Court. No?
Yeah.
Now, Chief Justice not a panel, no, so Nani anye Abrantani behavior. So he ordered for the arrest of the gentleman. In fact, and a media report in it shows that he detained him for hours. And it took some senior lawyers in court that day. Send a number of appeal to the Chief Justice and the panel. Some lawyer no, and the senior police officer nako. According to ACP Ayanga, and yes, I see your court.
Yeah.
It is a media report and the Quentin Ocho redundant 1. 2. As I see no, Ocho Koma Shraj. Nanatio, it's in the first quadrant of the board Chief Justice, no, and your petition you in the first. Ocho Koma Shraj say, Chief Justice Nebun and Nimase. Osaye unfair to her. And as I 2023, Ocho Koma Shraj, then a review in March 2024. Chief Justice Abel transfer panel also because we believe that the on year 2023
no person or Asubetianica.
Yes, obey unfair to him.
Okay, I get it.
It's the next option. ACP Ayanga, any Chief Justice beef, no, a long years of beef. Now, this is what happens in court according to Ghana Web, and I'm coming to read to you verbatim what happened in court that day. Now, say the report explained that Ayanga disagreed with the dismissal of his application and the subsequent imposition of 10,000 costs against his side. Now, say, according to Ghana Web, Yanga Bufu say, Supreme Court can say they are upholding what the High Court in Sekendi. No more than 10,000 and the one or so. His emotional response, particularly directed at the Chief Justice, prompted the court decision to take strict action. We come say, senior members of the legal community, including Edward Tuya and Dr. Basit Bamba. Now, this man is part of the General Legal Council, President Mama nominating from the University of Ghana, rose to plead for clemency. Now, look at the words that Ghana will use, and this story is dated 2023, a day after the incident happened in the Supreme Court. Or say, to plead for clemency on behalf of Ayanga. Despite their effort, the Chief Justice expressed concern over Ayanga's conduct, referencing a previous report from the Takrade High Court to highlight similar behavior. Edana, everyone pleading no, and the Chief Justice catch up say, Papa, nini huni, oba court and nyama on papa. Sana court Takrade High Court so koye. Na this what happened. And when Justice Pomaya says, so no chairman of the committee, the Chief Justice Muno, reported to have advised Ayanga that aggression has no place in a courtroom and urging to adhere to all rules of legal arena. Manana Utie Ghana were reporting that there was no mention of arrest, there was no mention of detention.
All right.
Now, let's move on. Okay, ACP Ayanga petition now. In law, law, you feel be circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
And you evidence, Nankasa. But threatening some may say, the car, may say, the Bibiaco. Based on that circumstantial evidence, and I can be accused to be the one I'm a do bonnet. And what you here. I'm a real evidence about to say the cry at the Nankasa do bonnet and menu be general body no, that's idea new crime. Now, this is exclusively petitioner ACP, no. And the command President John Dramani Mahama or introduce who ye BBA. Banana on the issues, issue 1, Nana hear or say whether or not after delivery of judgment she made the meaning and disrespectful remarks against me as a barrister. In a nutshell, the issue on Chief Justice one, it's largely about egos. He feel that the Chief Justice bruised his ego and our Chief Justice Nankasei. That is why he's unhappy. Now, I'll see on 14 November 2020, my case was called for hearing. The names of the parties and counsel presentation were recorded. The proceedings commenced and ended by delivery of the ruling and award, of course. The Chief Justice delivered the ruling dismissing my case as without merit, but no reasoning for the decision. Now, I'll see Chief Justice not to the case, but reason according to ACP Ayamba, I was calm and silent and seated when she delivered the ruling. Suddenly, I heard them making off-judgment demeaning remarks against me to the fact that I am incompetent senior barrister. Banana, asama allegedly ACP Ayanga Takrade High Court in the ruling and I'm the chair. Say, we police need. So when it comes to authentication of public documents, you should know the process. So why didn't you follow the process? So now exclusively, this is one of the petitions. I'm saying the remarks were discourteous, disparaging, and disrespectful against my person and professional competence as a barrister.
As a Semna Chief Justice Kayano. As a man useless.
Yes.
As a woman.
It's an assembly top and say police officer akotasa say. As I say okoto nipa okoto no odifrodo no.
Okay.
Ana high court ebutia wa takrade. Ana samna baba supreme court. The baba supreme court chief justice e rule asem no. And we make comments there police ni say anya ne de because we bu na nimti as senior police officer ni obi ono lawyer ni. The president man yin de. Again no osan koya say chief justice behavior na against the judicial processes. Any tenant say chief justice say nya any judge of the supreme court say unya. So this is a case of ACP Ayamba. Now this is also the response from the Chief Justice. The name of a leaky petition, but the Chief Justice has responded. Now, the response of my main kind for purposes of fair reportage. I say, Your Excellency, while I do not hesitate to apologize on behalf of the Supreme Court and myself, if any court user, including the petitioner, had a bad experience in court while I was presiding over a case, my humble submission is that the petition does not provide any element of misconduct or incompetence that led to the removal of a Chief Justice under the 1992 Constitution. Now, Chief Justice said, okay, Article 146 now. The grounds to remove a Chief Justice, and there are three. Now, what are the grounds to remove the Chief Justice? Okay, Article 146 now. The grounds to remove the Chief Justice are not to remove it. You must prove grounds. Chief Justice said, what's my boy in the court? But no one can say, oh, me too, my power. But you need to prove, say, one of the grounds. I bet in the Chief Justice Mabush. Now, Article 146 will say, a justice of the Superior Court or chairman of a regional tribunal shall not be removed from office except 1. Stated misconduct or incompetence, or on grounds of inability to perform the functions of the office arising from infirmity of the body or mind. Misconduct 1, incompetence 2. Chief Justice say, I bring you no do the abom say me na nimtia court. Makase me anya ne de no. Me as Chief Justice and the Justice of the Supreme Court no, that does not prove one of the three grounds for me to be sacked as the Chief Justice.
Sebia mechu anim.
Yes.
Mekasa anya ode no.
Yes.
Inti empam no.
Yes. Osan say the hearing and proceedings complained about the procedures of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is always composed of not less than 5 justices for the exercise of a judicial function under Article 128 of the 1992 Constitution, except when its work is executed by a single judge under Article 143. In the conduct of the work of the Supreme, the presiding judge, whether the Chief Justice or another senior member of the court, is not the court. So the Chief Justice contention is that even the chairman of the committee in the Chief Justice Palmer was there. Justice Yoni Kolendi was there. And when you catch us a branch, show Justice Palmer, Justice